Daily reading through the Bible, Week 11, Day 1. Numbers, chapters 26 through 29. Luke, chapter 2. The scriptures quoted are from the NET Bible, netbible.com, copyright 1996, 2019, used with permission from Biblical Studies Press, LLC. All rights reserved. Numbers 26. After the plague, the Lord said to Moses and Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, "Take a census of the whole community of Israelites, from 20 years old and upward, by their clans, everyone who can serve in the army of Israel." So Moses and Eleazar the priest spoke with them in the Rift Valley plains of Moab, along the Jordan River across from Jericho. They said, "Number the people from 20 years old and upward, just as the Lord commanded Moses, and the Israelites who went out from the land of Egypt." Reuben was the firstborn of Israel. The Reubenites from Hanok, the family of Hanokites from Palau, the family of Peluites from Hezron, the family of the Hezronites from Carmi, the family of the Carmites. These were the families of the Reubenites, and those numbered of them were 43,730. Palu's descendant was Eliab. Eliab's descendants were Nemuel, Dathan, and Abiram. It was Dathan and Abiram who, as leaders of the community, rebelled against Moses and Aaron, with the followers of Korah when they rebelled against the Lord. The earth opened its mouth and swallowed them, and Korah, at the time that company died, when the fire consumed 250 men, so they became a warning. But the descendants of Korah did not die. The Simeonites, by their families. From Nemuel, the family of the Nemuelites. From Jamin, the family of the Jaminites. From Jachin, the family of the Jachinites. From Zerah, the family of the Zerahites. From Shaul, the family of the Shaulites. These were the families of the Simeonites. The Gadites, by their families. From Zephon, the family of the Zephonites. From Haggai, the family of the Haggites. From Shuni, the family of the Shuniites. From Ozni, the family of the Ozniites. From Eri, the family of the Erites. From Arad, the family of the Aradites. From Areli, the family of the Arelites. These were the family of the Gadites, according to those numbered of them, 40,500. The descendants of Judah were Ir and Onan, but Ir and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the Judahites, by their families, were from Shelah, the family of the Shelahites. From Perez, the family of the Perezites. From Zerah, the family of the Zerahites. And the Perizzites were from Hezron, the family of the Hezronites. From Hamuel, the family of the Hamulites. These were the families of Judah, according to those numbered of them, 76,500. The Issacharites, by their families. From Tola, the family of the Tolaites. From Puah, the family of the Puhites. From Jashub, the family of the Jashubites. And from Shimron, the family of the Shimronites. These were the families of Issachar, according to those numbered to them, 64,300. The Zebulunites, by their families. From Sered, the family of the Seredites. From Elon, the family of the Elonites. From Jahleel, the family of the Jahilites. These were the families of the Zebulunites, according to those numbered to them, 60,500. The descendants of Joseph, by their families, Manasseh and Ephraim. The Manasseites, from Machir, the family of the Machirites. Now Machir became the father of Gilead. From Gilead, the family of the Gileadites. These were the Gileadites. From Jazer, the family of the Jezerites. From Helek, the family of the Helekites. From Asriel, the family of the Asrielites. From Sechem, the family of the Sechemites. From Shemida, the family of the Shemidites. From Hepher, the family of the Hepherites. Now Zelophehad, the son of Hepher, had no sons, but only daughters. And the names of the daughters Zelophehad were Melaha, Noah, Holga, Milcah, and Tezar. These were the families of Manasseh. Those numbered of them were 52,700. These are the Ephraimites by their families. From Shethulah, the family of the Shethulahites. From Becher, the family of the Becherites. From Tahan, the family of the Tahanites. Now these were the Shethulahites by Moran, the family of the Aaronites. These were the families of the Ephraimites, according to those numbered to them 32,500. These were the descendants of Joseph by their families. The Benjaminites by their families. From Bela, the family of the Belaites. From Ashbel, the family of the Ashbelites. From Arim, the family of the Aramites. From Shupham, the family of the Shuphamites. From Hupham, the family of the Huphamites. The descendants of Bela were Ard and Naaman. From Ard, the family of the Ardites. From Naaman, the family of the Naamanites. These are the Benjaminites, according to their families. And according to those numbered to them, 45,600. These are the Danites by their families. From Shuham, the family of the Shuhamites. These were the families of Dan, according to their families. All the families of the Shuhamites, according to those numbered to them, were 64,400. The Asherites by their families. From Imnah, the family of the Imnahites. From Ishvi, the family of the Ishviites. From Beriah, the family of the Berahites. From the Berahites, from Heber, the family of the Heberites. From Malchil, the family of Malchilites. Now the name of the daughter of Asher was Sarah. These are the family of the Asherites, according to those numbered to them 53,400. Naphtali, the Naphtaliites by their families. From Jazeel, the family of the Jazelites. From Guni, the family of the Guniites. From Jazer, the family of the Jazerites. From Shelem, the family of the Shelemites. These were the families of Naphtali, according to their families, and those numbered to them were 45,400. These were those numbered of the Israelites, 601,730. Then the Lord spoke to Moses. To these the land must be divided, as an inheritance, according to the number of the names. To a larger group you will give a larger inheritance, and to a smaller group you will give a smaller inheritance. To each one its inheritance must be given according to the number of people in it. The land must be divided by lot, and they will inherit in accordance with the names of their ancestral tribes. Their inheritance must be apportioned by lot among the larger and smaller groups. And these are the Levites who are numbered according to their families. From Gershon, the family of the Gershonites. From Kohath, the family of the Kohathites. From Merari, the family of the Merarites. These are the families of the Levites. The family of the Libanites. The family of the Hebronites. The family of the Malahites. The family of the Mushiites. The family of the Korahites. Kohath became the father of Amram. Now the name of Amram's wife was Jochebed, daughter of Levi, who was born to Levi in Egypt. And to Amram she bore Aaron, Moses, and Miriam their sister. And to Aaron were born Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. But Nadab and Abihu died when they offered strange fire before the Lord. Those of the Levites who were numbered were 23,000, all males from a month old and upward, for they were not numbered among the Israelites. No inheritance was given to them among the Israelites. These are those who were numbered by Moses and Eleazar the priest, who numbered the Israelites in the Rift Valley plains of Moab along the Jordan River opposite Jericho. But there was not a man among those who had been among those numbered by Moses and Aaron the priest, when they numbered the Israelites in the desert of Sinai. For the Lord had said to them, They will surely die in the wilderness. And there was not left a single man of them, except Caleb son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun. Numbers 27. Then the daughters of Zelophehad, son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Mechir, the son of Manasseh, of the families of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, came forward. Now these are the names of his daughters: Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. And they stood before Moses and Eleazar the priest, and the leaders of the whole assembly at the entrance of the tent of meeting, and said, Our father died in the wilderness, although he was not part of the company of those that gathered themselves together against the Lord in the company of Korah. But he died for his own sin, and he had no sons. Why should the name of our father be lost from among his family because he had no son? Give us a possession among the relatives of our father. So Moses brought their case before the Lord. The Lord said to Moses, The daughters of Zelophehad have a valid claim. You must indeed give them possession of an inheritance among their father's relatives, and you must transfer the inheritance of their father to them. And you must tell the Israelites, if a man dies and has no son, then you must transfer his inheritance to his daughter. And if he has no daughter, then you are to give his inheritance to his brothers. And if he has no brothers, then you are to give his inheritance to his father's brothers. And if his father has no brothers, then you are to give his inheritance to his relative nearest him from his family, and he will possess it. This will be for the Israelites a legal requirement, as the Lord commanded Moses. Then the Lord said to Moses, Go up this mountain of the Abarim range, and see the land that I have given the Israelites. When you have seen it, you will be gathered to your ancestors, as Aaron your brother was gathered to his ancestors. For the wilderness of Zin, where the community rebelled against me, you rebelled against my command to show me as holy before their eyes over the water of Meribah and Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin. Then Moses spoke to the Lord, Let the Lord, the God of the spirits of all humankind, appoint a man over the community, who will go out before them, and who will come in before them, and who will lead them out, and who will bring them in, so that the community of the Lord may not be like sheep that have no shepherd. The Lord replied to Moses, Take Joshua, son of Nun, a man in whom is the Spirit, and lay your hand on him. Set him before Eleazar the priest and before the whole community, and commission him publicly. Then you must delegate some of your authority to him, so that the whole community of the Israelites will be obedient. And he will stand before Eleazar the priest, who will seek counsel for him before the Lord by the decision of the Urim. At his command they will go out, and at his command they will come in, he and all the Israelites with him, the whole community. So Moses did as the Lord commanded him. He took Joshua and set him before Eleazar the priest and before the whole community. He laid his hands on him and commissioned him just as the Lord commanded by the authority of Moses. Numbers 28. The Lord spoke to Moses, Command the Israelites, with regard to my offering, be sure to offer my food for my offering made by fire as a pleasing aroma to me at its appointed time. You will say to them, This is the offering made by fire that you must offer to the Lord: 2 unblemished lambs, 1 year old, each day, for a continual burnt offering. The first lamb you must offer in the morning, and the second lamb you must offer in the late afternoon, with 1/10 of an ephah of finely ground flour, as a grain offering, mixed with 1/4 of a hin of pressed olive oil. It is a continual burnt offering that was instituted on Mount Sinai as a pleasing aroma, an offering made by fire to the Lord. And its drink offering must be 1/4 of a hin for each lamb. You must pour out the strong drink as a drink offering to the Lord in the holy place. And the second lamb you must offer in the late afternoon, just as you offered the grain offering and drink offering in the morning. You must offer it as an offering made by fire, as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. On the Sabbath day you must offer 2 unblemished lambs a year old, and 2/10 of an ephah of finely ground flour as a grain offering, mixed with olive oil, along with its drink offering. This is the burnt offering for every Sabbath, besides the continual burnt offering and its drink offering. On the first day of each month you must offer as a burnt offering to the Lord 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 unblemished lambs a year old, with 3/10 of an ephah of finely ground flour mixed with olive oil as a grain offering for each bull, and 2/10 of an ephah of finely ground flour mixed with olive oil as a grain offering for the ram, and 1/10 of an ephah of finely ground flour mixed with olive oil as a grain offering for each lamb, as a burnt offering for a pleasing aroma, an offering made by fire to the Lord. For their drink offerings include half a hin of wine with each bull, 1/3 of a hin for the ram, and 1/4 of a hin for each lamb. This is the burnt offering for each month throughout the months of the year. And 1 male goat must be offered to the Lord as a purification offering, in addition to the continual burnt offering and its drink offering. On the 14th day of the first month is the Lord's Passover, and on the 15th day of this month is the festival. For 7 days bread made without yeast must be eaten, and on the first day there is to be a holy assembly. You must do no ordinary work on it. But you must offer to the Lord an offering made by fire, a burnt offering of 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 lambs 1 year old. They must all be unblemished. And their grain offering is to be of finely ground flour mixed with olive oil. For each bull you must offer 3/10 of an ephah, and 2/10 for the ram. For each of the 7 lambs you are to offer 1/10 of an ephah, as well as 1 goat for a purification offering to make atonement for you. You must offer these in addition to the burnt offering in the morning, that is for the continual burnt offering. In this manner you must offer daily, throughout the 7 days, the food of the sacrifice made by fire, as a sweet aroma to the Lord. It is to be offered in addition to the continual burnt offering and its drink offering. On the 7th day you are to have a holy assembly. You must do no regular work. Also, on the day of the first fruits, when you bring a new grain offering to the Lord during your Feast of Weeks, you are to have a holy assembly. You must do no ordinary work, but you must offer as the burnt offering, as a sweet aroma to the Lord, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, 7 lambs 1 year old, with their grain offering of finely ground flour mixed with olive oil, 3/10 of an ephah for each bull, 2/10 for the 1 ram, with 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs, as well as 1 male goat to make an atonement for you. You are to offer them with their drink offerings in addition to the continual burnt offering and its grain offering. They must be unblemished. Numbers 29. On the first day of the 7th month you are to hold a holy assembly. You must not do your ordinary work, for it is a day of blowing trumpets for you. You must offer a burnt offering as a sweet aroma to the Lord, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 7 lambs 1 year old, without blemish. Their grain offering is to be of finely ground flour mixed with olive oil, 3/10 of an ephah for the bull, 2/10 of an ephah for the ram, and 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs, with 1 male goat for a purification offering to make atonement for you. This is in addition to the monthly burnt offering and its grain offering, and the daily burnt offering with its grain offering, and their drink offerings as prescribed, as a sweet aroma, a sacrifice made by fire to the Lord. On the 10th day of this 7th month you are to have a holy assembly. You must humble yourselves. You must not do any work on it, but you must offer a burnt offering as a pleasing aroma to the Lord, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 7 lambs 1 year old, all of them without blemish. Their grain offerings must be of finely ground flour mixed with olive oil, 3/10 of an ephah for the bull, 2/10 for the ram, and 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs, along with 1 male goat for a purification offering, in addition to the purification offering for atonement, and the continual burnt offering, with its grain offering, and their drink offerings. On the 15th day of the 7th month you are to have a holy assembly. You must do no ordinary work, and you must keep a festival to the Lord for 7 days. You must offer a burnt offering, an offering made by fire as a pleasing aroma to the Lord, 13 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs, each 1 year old, all of them without blemish. Their grain offerings must be of finely ground flour mixed with olive oil, 3/10 of an ephah for each of the 13 bulls, 2/10 of an ephah for each of the 2 rams, and 1/10 for each of the 14 lambs, along with 1 male goat for a purification offering, in addition to the continual burnt offering with its grain offering and its drink offering. On the 2nd day you must offer 12 young bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs 1 year old, all without blemish, and their grain offerings, and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, according to the number as prescribed, along with 1 male goat for a purification offering, in addition to the continual burnt offering with its grain offering, and their drink offerings. On the 3rd day you must offer 11 bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs 1 year old, all without blemish, and their grain offerings and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, according to their number as prescribed, along with 1 male goat for a purification offering, in addition to the continual burnt offering with its grain offering and its drink offering. On the 4th day you must offer 10 bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs 1 year old, all without blemish, and their grain offerings and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, according to their number as prescribed, along with 1 male goat for a purification offering, in addition to the continual burnt offering with its grain offering and its drink offering. On the 5th day you must offer 9 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs 1 year old, all without blemish, and their grain offerings and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs according to their number as prescribed, along with 1 male goat for a purification offering, in addition to the continual burnt offering with its grain offering and its drink offering. On the 6th day you must offer 8 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs, 1 year old, all without blemish, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, according to their number as prescribed, along with 1 male goat for a purification offering, in addition to the continual burnt offering with its grain offering and its drink offering. On the 7th day you must offer 7 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 lambs 1 year old, all without blemish, and their grain offerings and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, according to their number as prescribed, along with 1 male goat for a purification offering, in addition to the continual burnt offering with its grain offering and its drink offering. On the 8th day you are to have a holy assembly. You must do no ordinary work on it, but you must offer a burnt offering, an offering made by fire as a pleasing aroma to the Lord, 1 bull, 1 ram, 7 lambs 1 year old, all of them without blemish, and with their grain offerings and their drink offerings for the bull, for the ram, and for the lambs, according to the number as prescribed, along with 1 male goat for a purification offering, in addition to the continual burnt offerings with its grain offering and its drink offering. These things you must present to the Lord at your appointed times, in addition to your vows and your free will offerings, as your burnt offerings, your grain offerings, your drink offerings, and your peace offerings. So Moses told the Israelites everything, just as the Lord had commanded him. Luke 2. Now in those days a decree went out from Caesar Augustus to register all the empire for taxes. This was the first registration, taken when Quirinius was governor of Syria. Everyone went to his own town to be registered. So Joseph went up to the town of Nazareth in Galilee, to Judea, to the city of David called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and family line of David. He went to be registered with Mary, who was promised in marriage to him, and who was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for her to deliver the child, and she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him in strips of cloth, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for them in the inn. Now there were 3 shepherds nearby, living out in the field, keeping guard over their flock at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were absolutely terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. Listen carefully, for I proclaim to you good news that brings great joy to all the people. Today your Savior is born in the city of David. He is Christ the Lord. This will be a sign for you. You will find a baby wrapped in strips of cloth and lying in a manger." Suddenly a vast heavenly army appeared with the angel, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace among people with whom he is pleased." When the angel left them and went back to heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let us go over to Bethlehem and see this thing that has taken place, that the Lord has made known to us." So they hurried off and located Mary and Joseph, and found the baby lying in a manger. When they saw him, they related what they had been told about this child, and all who heard it were astonished at what the shepherds said. But Mary treasured up all these words, pondering in her heart what they may mean. So the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all they had heard and seen. Everything was just as they had been told. At the end of 8 days, when he was circumcised, he was named Jesus, the name given by the angel before he was conceived in the womb. Now, when the time came for their purification according to the law of Moses, Joseph and Mary brought Jesus up to Jerusalem to present him to the Lord, just as it is written in the law of the Lord, "Every firstborn male will be set apart to the Lord, and to offer a sacrifice according to what is specified in the law of the Lord, a pair of doves or 2 young pigeons." Now there was a man in Jerusalem named Simeon, who was righteous and devout, looking for the restoration of Israel, and the Holy Spirit was upon him. It had been revealed to him by the Holy Spirit that he would not die before he had seen the Lord's Christ. So Simeon, directed by the Spirit, came into the temple courts, and when the parents brought in the child Jesus to do for him what was customary according to the law, Simeon took him in his arms and blessed God, saying, "Now, according to your word, sovereign Lord, permit your servant to depart in peace, for my eyes have seen your salvation, that you have prepared in the presence of all peoples, a light for revelation to the Gentiles, and for glory to your people Israel." So the child's father and mother were amazed at what was said about him. Then Simeon blessed them and said to his mother Mary, "Listen carefully. This child is destined to be the cause of the falling and rising of many in Israel, and to be a sign that will be rejected. Indeed, as a result of him, the thoughts of many hearts will be revealed, and a sword will pierce your own soul as well." There was also a prophetess, Anna, the daughter of Phanuel, of the tribe of Asher. She was very old, having been married to her husband for 7 years until his death. She had lived as a widow since then for 84 years. She never left the temple, worshiping and fasting with prayer night and day. At that moment she came up to them and began to give thanks to God and speak about the child to all who were waiting for the redemption of Jerusalem. So when Joseph and Mary had performed everything according to the law of the Lord, they returned to Galilee, to their own town of Nazareth. And the child grew and became strong, filled with wisdom, and the favor of God was upon him. Now Jesus' parents went to Jerusalem every year for the feast of the Passover. When he was 12 years old, they went up according to custom. But when the feast was over, as they were returning home, the boy Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem. His parents did not know it, but because they assumed that he was in their group of travelers, they went a day's journey. Then they began to look for him among the relatives and acquaintances. When they did not find him, they returned to Jerusalem to look for him. After 3 days they found him in the temple courts, sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. And all who heard Jesus were astonished at his understanding and his answers. When his parents saw him, they were overwhelmed. His mother said to him, "Child, why have you treated us like this? Look, your father and I have been looking for you anxiously." But he replied, "Why were you looking for me? Didn't you know that I must be in my father's house?" Yet his parents did not understand the remark he made to them. Then he went down with them and came to Nazareth, and he was obedient to them. But his mother kept all these things in her heart. And Jesus increased in wisdom and in stature and in favor with God and with people. The next daily reading through the Bible, week 11, day 2. Numbers chapters 30 through 33, Psalm 35, Luke chapter 3. The scriptures quoted are from the NET Bible. netbible.com, copyright 1996-2013, used with permission from Biblical Studies Press, LLC, all rights reserved.